Happy Friday, everybody.
That's right.
Happy Friday, Keith.
Thank you.
It's been a week, hasn't it?
Yeah. Been a nice week.
Been a pretty good week. The Monday was like any other Monday.
Yeah. Of course.
A little bit on the crazy side. And we did finish fixing the last VPN
Yeah.
thing this week. Earlier today, right?
Yep.
Yep. We had to do one from scratch again, so I'd remember how I did it 4 years ago. But we figured it out.
Oh, yeah.
Made our buddy Dwayne happy. That's what mattered.
Exactly right.
Yep. Now you can get on his cloud from home. Because that's the whole idea of cloud is be able to get at your stuff anywhere, anytime. Mm-hmm. Hopefully any device. So what do you got going on this week, Keith?
Well, I think the title of the show is Printing Alternatives. So we'll probably find out what's available and what's out there.
And a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we had a gaming computer come in.
Yep. We fixed them good.
Got it fixed up pretty quick, actually. So going to that. And then some of the network gear is going to get replaced in some of the clients that we have.
Yep. Planned replacements. Mm-hmm.
And then you found a neat little app for your QuickBooks Online.
Yes, I did.
To help some of the people make the transition over a little bit easier.
Yeah. Just to put it mildly. And then this week's educational video, cybersecurity educational video, will be about QR codes and what to look out for. So, stay tuned. And we're going to have a quick little break here for 15 seconds with our regular Residential Protection Plan promo. The Residential Protection Plan by HonorBound IT is the best support and service for home computer users. You get top-notch antivirus, backup, and remote support. Plus, if you need in-store service, it's free. Visit us at 109 Norris Avenue, McCook, or call 877-686-6642. Your digital peace of mind starts here. Welcome back. And speaking of Residential Protection Plan, it was pretty quiet on the service side, but we had some renewals this week. So if you were one of them that renewed, thank you. We appreciate the trust that you put in us. We absolutely love supporting people in the community and saving people drive time and headaches. And it's been a good program for a lot of folks. So, the title of the show is about printing alternatives. I just kind of threw that on there because, Keith and I have like a love-hate relationship with printers, don't we?
Yeah.
You more than me. Because, you've had you had a few printing ones this week, didn't you?
Oh, now you got me thinking.
Didn't you have one at the front of the week?
I might have. Oh.
From your friend?
My friend.
Yeah, your friend.
A lot of friends.
Yeah, you got lots of friends.
I don't remember.
I specifically said your friend called. I'm trying not to mention a name.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Now I remember.
Did you get that one sorted out, or?
I don't know. What happened was some of the EPS and eco tanks that we've been supporting and recommending to people come out with. I can't remember if it's called the maintenance box is what it is. And basically the ink fills up into this little maintenance box. And once it reaches a certain level, the printer senses it and it kind of it warns you, and you can bypass it with a special Epson utility, the software that you have to download from them. And then that'll get you by for a little bit, but that won't last forever. You might be able to do that once. This is the first time I've seen it. So we did it once.
Is that something that you have to buy if you need to?
Yep. That's just a little part that you buy. You just search up the name of your printer, and it came up on Amazon. It's like a little $20 plastic little box. I don't know if you can empty it or not. It looks like it's something that is kind of, it sits in there and you can't really empty it unless you drill a hole in the side.
Well, they didn't put that in their marketing materials.
No, they did not.
No. I did not know that.
Yeah, so if your Epson starts to it says some kind of message about your maintenance box, what it is, and there's tons of videos on it, but for this model in particular, there's just 2 screws. You unscrew the piece on the back, a little plastic side pops out. There's your little box. You pull it out, put a new one in. You might have to do some pushing on buttons on the printer display to tell it, hey, I got a new one. And then you should be back to printing like that.
So that's not even in the manual. I haven't seen it in the manual.
I don't know. Well, they don't ever give you the manual anymore, remember?
No, they don't. but I mean, in any instruction materials, I mean, that's kind of irritating because one of the reasons why we've been recommending them is because of the ink. You get a goodly amount of ink. So we'll have to see how that pencils out. I don't know how much she prints, but we might want to ask.
Well, I know this particular customer prints a lot.
So she might have gone through a set of toner already as well. So maybe it's one of those things, but yeah, undocumented feature, right?
Yeah. Well, and the Epson this model that they had is a little bit one of the smaller ones.
Oh,
so it's not like a bigger one where it has a paper tray where you fill the paper in. This one you have to fold out the rack on top and then
so it's one of the 1000 series, the cheap ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bottom line is printing is expensive. I don't care what way you cut it. Printing is expensive. So if you can get away without printing, that's absolutely huge. We're actually finding, that there's a lot of times where you just don't need to print. I remember when Tanner worked here, how anti-printer Tanner was.
Yeah.
He hated printers. Just, not from the standpoint that, like, why do you need to print? But there's so many people that are addicted to printing. Well, there's so many alternatives to printing too, right? Mm-hmm. So, one of them might be like printing to PDF. Like if you don't need a physical copy of something, why print? Why kill a tree? I know there's lots out of there for those of you who are like anti-save the world people, but why waste resources? There's no need to waste a resource if you don't have to have a physical copy. Now, if you're in a specific type of business and some people have to do government reporting, there are some times that you are required to have a physical paper or physical paper backup, but storage is so cheap now. You print to a PDF, save it in your OneDrive or your Dropbox or your Google Drive or what have you. That's huge. I think that's probably the biggest alternative that I have to printing. But if you are printing, you just kind of did a case in point where, when you go to the big box store and you buy like the cheapest printer, what do you get, Keith?
You get a cheap printer with a little bit of ink.
Yeah, but what is the expense of the printer? That cheap printer can be really expensive.
Yeah, well, the ink you buy costs more than the printer.
Yeah, they fake you out. And, it's what in marketing is called a loss leader. You buy that printer for $50, comes with, full ink in it. And then when you go buy your ink, it's like $60 for the cartridge.
Yeah.
But then you've installed the printer. It's kind of like it's in your house now. Do you really want to like throw the printer away and buy another printer for $50? You're going to go buy the cartridge, right? Most people don't think.
Most people,
by the time you've used up the ink, you've forgotten that you only paid $50 for the printer.
Yeah.
And again, going back to like wasting resources, and the other part of it is in those cheaper printers, they just break so easy, because they're meant to be, a throwaway item. Now, we got no skin in this game because Honorbound doesn't sell printers. We just don't. There's no margin in it. And we do make recommendations, though. We do recommend if you're going to buy like an ink-based printer, the EcoTanks are fairly good. But again, don't buy like the low-end model. But there's all kinds of alternatives, like the if you do like medium volume, say you do like half a ream or a ream of paper a month, get a laser. It's so much cheaper. And you're like pennies a page versus 10 cents, you're looking at a penny a page maybe or less if it's black and white. 1 cent including the paper. I did the math on that one time. I was bored and well, let's figure out what is the cheapest way to print. By those inkjets, like back in the day, they were like 10, 15 cents a page to print something. And then if you're like an office and you do a lot of printing, there's the copiers, like the full-size copiers, like the Konicas and the Sharps and the large format type deals. Some of them have scanning capabilities, like scan to email. We absolutely hate their software, right, Keith?
Could be better.
Most of them don't write very good software, and don't write very good software for email from a scan either. But they've gotten a little better over time, but I still think they're still stuck in that, period where you're just doing straight up copies and emailing and filing stuff from a scan as an afterthought.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of deal. But those are some of the alternatives that you have. There's some really inexpensive color laser printers too. They used to be starting at maybe $400 or $500, and now you can get them for like a couple $100. I mean, they're not going to be the most pretty things on the planet, but if you're wanting to weigh things out,
it'll be a huge piece of equipment sitting somewhere on a table somewhere.
Yeah.
So, feel like that. When people come here and we do the service or whatever, and we take their payment, I automatically send a receipt to their email. So unless somebody specifically asked they need a paper receipt, and I just say, oh, hey, the receipt's in your email. And then they ask, oh, can I get a paper copy? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But even when if you go out to like a restaurant or something like that, I avoid paper receipts at all costs.
Mm-hmm. Or you go to Max Drive-In, do you need a receipt? No.
I just
save it.
Send it to my email, text it to me, just something else besides the paper. But and then you have an actual copy, like, oh, it's in my phone, it's in my email. I don't have a stack of papers in a folder in a box somewhere in my house collecting dust because I'm never going to look at.
Well, you can't deduct any of those receipts off anyways. So
no, and even when you do get a receipt, what do you do with it? You throw it in the trash, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to avoid getting paper receipts if at all possible.
It's just a waste.
And even now, like Walmart, I'll call them out because they're pretty good. You can actually, when you pay, you can set it up to your phone to scan and pay. And that saves the receipt to your phone. So if you buy something that you need to return, say you bought the wrong size of pants. Oh, you just take it up there and they go, oh, you got your receipt. It's all in your phone number or
I did not know
scanned
that.
on your card or whatever. So they can look it up that way. So you actually don't have to have a paper receipt to return stuff anymore. But you have to go through and set up all those services and things like that to get that to work.
Well, and I think that's kind of important, like particularly if you buy something in the electronics department. Don't buy computers there, but if you buy like a TV or something and you buy that extra warranty, one of the problems with the receipts when you buy that extra, because if you want service on anything electronic, make sure you get that. It's pretty cheap usually. But you have to have the receipt to go along with the document. Well, what if your receipt is like, because they're all on thermal paper, by the time you need the warranty, it's all faded out. You can't read the dang receipt. So if you have it on your phone, then you can go, oh, yeah, here you go. That's cool. I didn't know that you could do that there.
Yeah, it's a pretty handy feature.
I don't shop a lot on.
A lot of places are going to that digital pay now. So,
Yep, and even this morning, like I went to St. Ertz and my receipt came on my phone automatically. They don't even ask you, unless I go to buy something for a lunch and learn or something. Then they ask.
I will take that back. There is one place that I do get my receipt from, and that's McDonald's. And that's because McDonald's gives you the choice to fill out a survey online, and you get a buy one get one free sandwich. So you get a 50% discount basically. And if you want to take a sandwich to somebody at work, or if you want to save a sandwich and eat, the breakfast sandwiches are probably the easiest ones to save, and warm up the next day. But if you're going out to lunch with somebody, you get a free sandwich. So.
I did not know that. Well, heck. That's a hack.
Oh yeah.
And you learned about it here because I learned about it here. But Keith knows where to get all the deals, right?
Oh yeah.
Keith Haskin, extreme McDonald's couponer.
Well, I know because I've asked him several times and I've gotten several free quarter pounders with cheese.
Well, and you feed your kids there sometimes.
Yeah, they like
McDonald's.
The chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Big Mac.
You're a chicken nuggeter too, aren't you?
I like chicken nuggets.
Yep. But we digress.
Yeah. Keep printing those receipts, McDonald's. We're happy that you do that.
So yeah, that's kind of like the long and short of it. If you have questions on printing of any kind, give us a call. We do see a lot of different printer models, makes, and ups and downs, and if you're considering purchasing a printer and you just want a little advice, you're free to give us a call and say, hey, I'm doing this. What should I be looking for? And we're really happy to help you. Moving on to the bench. This week we had like a bench win and a bench loss. But the bench win was rather spectacular because normally like gaming rigs are a pain in the bum.
They are normally.
I'll let you talk about this game.
This one wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the guy called, had some problems with his new gaming computer he bought, and something happened. I tried to download this game. Something happened. I had to update the BIOS. Then just everything went sideways. So I was like, okay,
crap.
What did you try to do? And he said, well, try to do these things in the BIOS. Then when I tried to restart my computer, nothing worked. I said, okay. And, we're kind of reluctant sometimes to take on some of these, but he brought it in, he had everything. It looked like a pretty nice machine. Wasn't that old. And so we get into it and I turn it on and I can see that it's trying to start. And like what it was doing was just flashing the screen. I mean, it was less than a second. It was flashing the screen. So I got my phone out and just recorded. And so I could pause where I could see what the screen was doing. And it looked like it was trying to install Windows again. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to call him back and find out if he tried to reinstall Windows himself. And I did call, and he said, yeah, I tried it, but things just didn't work right. And I said, okay. And we always let people, if they try it themselves, that's fine. And I asked them, they tried it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We have to actually, go through and verify these things ourselves. So I can take your word for it, but I'm still going to do the work myself, even though you've already tried it, because I need to prove to myself that what you did was correct or something may have went wrong. And so when he had tried to reinstall Windows, I was like, well, so there's nothing on there, so I'll try it myself. We took the hard drive, basically a USB flash drive with the Windows operating system on it, booted to that, installed Windows on the machine, and once it started installing, things started working again. So I was like, okay. I think we're going to get lucky here. And yeah, the next thing we know, we got the operating system, the Windows, everything started doing the updates. Greg found the driver for the motherboard that he probably was looking for. It may have gotten something that wasn't correct. But once we got the Windows was installed, the computer was working, got the proper driver for the motherboard, and that driver was like a week old. They had just came out with a release for that, the motherboard. So installed that for him, restarted, made sure things were looking good. Hey, it was his computer's working, and he was pretty happy. He's like, what?
Happy days.
Happy days. So he was really glad that it wasn't something that was like he'd have to return the computer for. It's like, oh, just, a bad Windows installation. And, that happens sometimes. I don't know. I can't verify what he did or didn't do. I just ask questions and get information. And then I just go through the steps ourselves. And we do this with every computer that comes in here. Go through the process, make sure things are working. And once they are, then we can get it back to you as quick as possible. Yeah,
and I think that a lot of times, like the gaming rigs, we kind of are a little bit wary of them because they can just be so complex, and sometimes we have to struggle with something because of some obscure problem, or somebody did something really obscure because they wanted their game to work. And yeah, I've always said, like, nothing like a computer game to break a computer.
Yeah. That reminds me of another service thing we had this week with another person. He brought in a normal laptop. It wasn't a normal laptop. It was a gaming laptop. And he was having problems with a game that he had downloaded from Steam.
Oh, yeah. And it was a special plug-in thingy, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how you helped him out, but you got him up and going pretty quickly, and then said, well, let's just try not to do that one anymore.
Well, our EDR, like our
that's right, yeah.
Yeah,
they're on the plan.
It was, he was on the plan, and so it cost him $0 other than the plan. And our EDR, which is detects like security things, and he came in because he couldn't get on the internet. Because if our software finds that you've got a bug, it's going to instantaneously go, hey, no more internet. Now we can get on your computer over the internet, but he couldn't go anywhere and do anything. So we found it was like some third-party custom add-on thing for one of the games that he likes to play that evidently was terribly infected. So we got rid of it and we de-isolated it because we can do that just with a click of a button. He was protected, because what would have happened if he had that bug and he was like, decided to go to the bank and pay his bills, and now all my passwords for my banking are gone. Somebody they cleared my bank out, because some of these guys will put keyloggers in, and they'll look for passwords and stuff like that. So he was protected and happy because, like, big fat zero, and we had a nice visit when he was here. Real nice guy.
Yeah,
enjoyed the time that we spent with him. Yeah. So that's 2 for 2, dude.
Those 2 gaming ones. Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
That
one.
almost
and then
never
you started telling me about it. So it reminded me. I was like, hey, I remember this other guy came in.
Yep.
With a gaming laptop.
That's right. Other than that, we had a really, really old machine come in this week, and that one kind of really was not a winner chicken dinner. It would do some of the basic stuff, but it's what was it, 10 over 10?
Oh, yeah, it was a Windows 8 computer that was upgraded to Windows 10.
Yeah, so it kind of has seen better days, and it'll do the some of the things that she wants to do, but there's corruption, and we just can't. I think there's something wrong with the drive itself. We're about to triple check that one, but you just don't let your stuff get that old. It just gets to be the law of diminishing returns. Now, we were able to back up all her stuff, but she's got a really expensive program on there. And I'd be looking at moving it on to something else real soon.
Exactly.
So we got a big project coming up, huh? Crazy big project coming up.
Yeah, not too crazy.
Well, no, because, we know what we're doing and we're going to be able to, execute it rather quickly. But we just have a lot of clients that have firewalls and they're on our plans for business, and we call it the network bundle. And so every so many years, we start replacing equipment because we'd rather replace equipment before it goes to either unsupported state or it starts to break down. So we got 15 firewalls that we need to
Sounds about right.
replace, roughly 14, 15. So, well, no, we just we replaced one the other week, so we're good that way. But it's still a fair bit of work. And then we kind of got put behind a little bit this week because we ordered something online for testing. We ordered a little LTE modem that we'll be using for the failover internet, because businesses, that don't have internet, they're out of business. So, if your main internet goes out, then this little LTE device will go on to Verizon or Via or whatever carrier that we put on it, and it will fail over to that secondary internet, so that it might be a little slower, but at least you're still in business while your main internet carrier comes back. So that kind of put us behind a week because we want to make sure that we thoroughly test the equipment that we put out there to make sure that it's going to be functioning as expected. Big believers in do unto ourselves before doing unto others, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to do unto ourselves next week with that little device, and then I'll just order all those firewalls en masse. One of the reasons you might want to consider, getting into a network bundle like we offer is that, there's a couple of reasons. One is if you're in a business and you do not have a firewall and the only thing that you have is the modem that your ISP gives you, that does not count as a firewall in most cases, unless you've paid a lot of extra money. And I think any of the ISPs around here don't have firewalling at all. They sell you like a modem because their job is to provide you with internet access, not internet security. And they might have some basic securities. They have security on their stuff, but their job is to bring internet service to your house or to your business. It's not to secure you. So if you're just linking up directly to that modem, you're probably not going to be very safe. So you're going to want to have something. If you don't, make sure you give us a call. We're happy to try to help you out to make a good decision as to what you should pick. The other scenario is if you've had a firewall for a long time. Some firewalls, they require regular license updates for the security patches and updates. We use a firewall that is license free so that we don't have to worry about these things. But after a while, like for instance, we were selling a lot of Sonic walls in the past, TZ300s. Well, after so many years, they no longer support them, and you can't buy the firmware or the security updates anymore for them. So, and they force you into buying another firewall, or maybe you've let your licenses lapse, not a good thing to do, and since we got that SOC service for our accountants, I'm really noticing that, they're getting banged on all the time by Russia, China, or, basically rogue states, nation-sponsored stuff is happening all the time, and they are pinging the low-hanging fruit and trying to, the big companies, they have a lot of these things handled, and you hear only about a handful of them getting breached. But there's just all those little companies that they get breached, but it's not big news, because you're not a huge multinational corporation, and you're not exposing tens of thousands of people's passwords and stuff. But if you're in a small business and you get breached or something happens and you get ransomware or what have you, you're likely going to be going out of business. These big companies that have budget, they can plan for that. But us 98% of businesses in the United States are small businesses. We can't afford that kind of malarkey. So we have to take care of ourselves. So that's really the big reason why we replace our stuff regularly as well, because stuff goes into the unsupported category. We don't want our gear to go into the unsupported category. And secondly, we want to make sure that we're doing license-free stuff. And so if you have questions about that, give us a call. We're happy to help you whatever way we can. And Keith, it's time for you to introduce our educational segment for the week.
The video for QR code.
In today's cyber tip, we're going to explain what QR code phishing is. A QR code is also known as a quick response code. They're everywhere and they look like a square barcode. You can scan them with your phone. You may have seen them at restaurants to access a menu. When you scan it, your phone quickly reads and shows information stored in the code and takes you to their webpage where their menu is. Bad actors can also create malicious QR codes. If you scan these codes, they can take you to fake websites or make you download harmful stuff. We can't read them with our human eyes, so these codes look all alike to us. They're often shared in emails or printed materials, tricking people into giving away personal info or installing bad software. It's like a sneaky way for scammers to take advantage of our trust and desire for convenience. So to stay safe, always double check where the QR code comes from before scanning. Being cautious helps you avoid falling for these tricks and keeps your personal information and devices safe. Here are some steps that you can follow if you scanned a suspicious QR code and entered in personal information such as a credit card number or other sensitive information. 1. Disconnect from the internet. Immediately turn off Wi-Fi and mobile data on your device to halt any potential communication with malicious servers. Second, if you have security software, run a security scan. Scan your device and remove any malware or security threats that are found. Third, check for any unusual activity. Monitor your device and accounts for any unusual behavior, such as unauthorized access or unexpected notifications or transactions. If you see suspicious transactions, contact your financial institution immediately. Fourth, uninstall suspicious apps. If the QR code led you to install an app, check your device's applications list and uninstall any unfamiliar or suspicious apps. Fifth, always keep your device's software up to date. Take any updates that are available. And sixth, change passwords. If there's any concern that you've had compromised accounts, change passwords for the accounts so you can make sure that you are secure. Once you've taken these steps and are confident that your device is secure, you can reconnect to the internet. Remember, always exercise caution and be mindful of QR codes before you scan, especially those from unknown or untrusted sources. Welcome back. Hope that was a good tip for you. We see a lot more QR codes these days. The Chamber of Commerce uses a lot of QR codes to try to get people to sign up for events and different things. You're seeing a lot more of them elsewhere as well, Keith?
Yeah, I see them on, going back to receipts at restaurants. They give you the option to pay online. You just scan the QR code and it takes you to their their payment system, so you don't have to deal with the a line or waiting for somebody to take your payment. Trying to think, we are on the computer. There's always like you said, a concert or an event to sign up for.
Yep.
To get more information, scan this code.
Well, and with one of the promos that we're doing now is a cybersecurity checkup thing. And right on our postcards, a QR code that takes you to a site where you can do like a quick 60-second screening, for lack of a better term, of your cybersecurity. And if you want some help with that, just give us a holler. We're happy to show you that. It's been kind of eye-opening for a lot of people. But yeah. And last but not least, we want to talk about QuickBooks Desktop. QuickBooks Desktop, I think pretty soon you're not going to be able to buy the actual QuickBooks Desktop program anymore. They made it into a subscription, but now they're going to be doing away with that, and you'll only be able to buy the Enterprise, which is crazy expensive. And I think that the QuickBooks Desktop got, like, the subscription was what, $7.99 a year? I mean, got to be pretty pricey. And I think they're trying to gear people to go to the QuickBooks Online, but that entails a lot of change. And we had somebody from a foundation that I belong to that had to make the leap this week. And she was not happy, but it is what it is. And they own the world, as one of my accountants would say. Intuit owns the world. At least they do for the time being. So we had to find a way to make it so that she wouldn't quit the foundation. And so I guess they have a little applet in QuickBooks Online where you can go up to I can't show you mine because it'll show you my balances as none of your business. But there's if you go up to the gear in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little applet that you can download and install. And then you log in. It's basically like a kind of a window dressing for the web page. But you can click a slider bar and it'll make it look like the desktop that you're familiar with. So if you're wondering how to do that, you need help with that, I'm happy to show you how to do that. It's pretty easy stuff, but you need to come and see me to do it. Yeah. A lot of folks have a little bit of fear of doing their books online. The whole cloud thing is really scary. Well, let's just put it this way. They got more millions of dollars than you do to deal with security. So odds are they're going to do a better job than any of us can do. So fear not, like the cloud application, for somebody that, like Intuit, that's been around. They've been doing it for a lot of years. They know security. Don't be afraid to make the leap to the online version if that's something that's necessary for your business to do. All right. Well, we're down the end of the show, dude. It's time to show you my cross-eyed cat.
Oh, here we go.
Yep, there you go. That's Ned. Ned the head. He was white when he was like a baby. He's a ragdoll. Have you ever heard of ragdoll cat before? And you pick them up and then they just melt. They just flop like they got no bones in them. But he's so cross-eyed. You throw a treat in front of him, you can't even see it. So we have to help him a lot. But he's getting up there in age, but he's in good shape, and he's Peggy's cat. He's beautiful, and we love him. So that's the cat picture of the week, because internet was developed for cat pictures and cat videos and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Ned.
Thanks, Ned. It's time to dance our way out of here. Happy Friday.
Friday. We made
Hope
it.
you have a wonderful weekend. Join us next week. We're really happy that you joined us this week. And we'll be here, same time, same station next week.